Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Cameron Blue, and thanks so much for checking out this video. In this video, we're gonna be talking about what is a credit score and how you can get the highest credit score possible. I'm sure the Ramsey team would hate me for talking about this, but I have been using credit personally in order to help with some purchases and also making sure that I can build my credit score so in the future I have more opportunities to get better deals. Credit is very important in our society today, and it's so important that if you have a good enough credit score, you're able to get a lot of benefits. For me personally, I was able to buy a car last year for 0.9% interest, not the 0% interest. And I'm planning to raise my score even higher to get even better benefits. Maybe one day I'll get that 0% interest. My real goal right now that I'm focusing on is to make sure I can afford to buy a house. Honestly, I think I have what I need to buy a home, but I just haven't pulled the trigger. I wonder why that is. Anyways, I want to make sure that you understand what a credit score is, why it's important, how to get that credit score so high, and to show lenders that you are a responsible adult who can handle money. In exchange for all this information, all I ask is you go to this video and make the thumbs up button blue by liking the video and then subscribing to the channel as well. Leave a comment also, it greatly helps me out. Once you've done all that, we'll get started. So let's talk about this. What is a credit score and what is it used for? A credit score is a number that determines how risky you are in terms of a lender deciding to give you money or not. Lenders want to make sure that whoever they're handing money to or giving a loan to, that they are going to be responsible and pay them back. And with this credit score number, the higher it is, the better type of loan that you are going to be offered. It shows that you are responsible with any debt that you may have and that you will pay it off in time. Imagine that it is proof that you are going to take this money and not just run out of town with it. So the number that I'm talking about here, it has a specific range, and it usually goes between 300 and 850. But there are different levels, so here are the levels. First, we have very poor, and that's going to be between 300 and 579. Next, we have fair, which is going to be between 580 and 669. Next, we have good, which is between 670 and 739. Then we have very good, which is between 740 and 799. And then what we call excellent credit is between 800 and 850. Normally with these two about very good and excellent, people try to aim for the 800 plus. I'm trying to do that too. But the main idea is you're not really going to be offered too many different types of loans within these two ranges. It's just kind of think about it, there's more comfort if you're in the 800 level. As we talk more about this and you start applying these ideas into your life, you want to make sure that you do check your credit score when possible. And me personally, I usually just check my FICO score. So the FICO score is a way to show what your credit score is, and it's also what most lenders are going to be looking at anyway. So it's a good representation to determine if you're going to get a good deal on a loan or not. So not only you might be able to get a better loan if you have a high credit score, but also you might be able to get some other credit card offers for you. And some of these credit cards just have amazing bonuses that are basically just free money. Unfortunately, you can't win the game if you don't play it, and you can't even play the game if you got a low credit score. So let's talk about how you can get the highest credit possible. When you are trying to build credit, there are 5 factors that you really need to be focusing on. The first factor is probably going to be the most important, and it should be the most obvious too, but when you have bills, make sure you pay them off on time. Paying off your bills consists of 35% of what your credit score is made out of. This kind of makes sense why it's the most important, because if you're gonna borrow someone else's money, you better pay them back. And when I say pay them back, I don't mean in little bits here and there. I mean pay them back in full. If you look at your credit card statement and you see that there is a balance statement, pay all that off. Do not pay just the minimum. If you don't believe me on this, let's put you in the lender's shoes. Let's say that your Aunt Becky was asking if she can borrow some money, and you know she is horrible with money and never pays anybody back. Are you really gonna give her that money? I'm not trying to say anything bad about Aunt Becky, because we're all human and maybe we just forget to pay it back. We're all super busy right now. Maybe it just slipped their mind. It happens to the best of us. If you do mess up and this is your first time, it's really easy to do this. Just call up your credit card company and just ask them for forgiveness. Let them know you just messed up and that you're not gonna let this happen again.
I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to pay off the $1 million that I borrowed, but I swear I'll give it back to you tomorrow, I promise.
Once you call your credit card company and you let them know, they're gonna fix it for you, hopefully, and it will not lower your credit score. But do not make a habit of this. You only get one free chance, one get out of jail free card here. If you do this multiple times, that's when your credit score really starts going down. How I personally like to avoid this, and I think you should too, is just set up automatic payments. Make sure you have enough money in your checking account and make sure that you set the billing pay to always be the day of when it's due. The system is just going to take money out of your checking account and pay it off for you so you don't have to worry about it. All you need to do is just make sure that you have enough money in that checking account. The second factor is going to be about credit utilization. And this is going to be making up of 30% of your credit score. Now, the goal of credit utilization is to make sure that you have a high limit of credit, but you are spending far less than what your limit is. There's a rule that says you shouldn't be going over 30% of what your credit limit is, but I really think you should honestly just do is try to keep it even below that. Go as low as possible. However, you do need to spend some money. As an example, let's say you have a credit limit of $10,000. Now, the rule is you don't want to spend over 30% of that $10,000. So 30% of $10,000 is $3,000. Yay for having my master's in math and I'm making YouTube videos instead. Woo! So as the month goes by, you're going to be spending more and more and more, getting close to that $3,000. And when the time comes, you want to pay all of that off. And then you can repeat that process. But again, even though you have a credit limit of $10,000, try to spend no more than $3,000. But again, the lower the better. If you're gonna be spending more than the 30%, credit card companies are gonna get a little scared and worry that you are trying to just spend as much as you can. And then they're gonna be worrying if you're actually gonna be able to pay all that off or not. My advice for you is don't be spending a lot at once, spread it out if you have to, and really just keep it simple. Now, if you know you're gonna be making big purchases or you know that the credit limit is just too low for you, after some time, once you've kind of built your rapport with the credit card company, give them a call again. This time, all you have to do is just ask for a higher credit limit.
Hey, me again with $1 million. I'm pretty sure I paid you back about that. But on an off topic, can I borrow some more money?
If you've been a good customer, they're probably going to do this for you and see that you've been handling your money responsibly and be like, sure, you can spend more money. Credit card companies want you to spend the money. Make sure when you talk to them to give them an actual number. That way it makes it look like you did your research and they're like, okay, they're responsible, they know what they want. Now, before I go into factors 3 and 5, if you're having trouble with the first two factors, you need to focus on that before we get into these other ones. The reason is because these two factors alone make up more than half of your credit score. 35 plus 30, that's more than 50. These two factors are the best ways that you can start now to make sure that you are gonna get a high credit score. And if you are having trouble with this, you're gonna get hurt. And I would never want you to get hurt. So please make sure you are taking care of these two factors before anything. Now, the third factor is to make sure that you are spreading out multiple applications for credit. This is going to be consisting of 10% of your credit score. Back in the credit utilization, you might be thinking, well, if I have multiple credit cards, I can get higher credit limit. Good thinking, big brains here. So yes, that is a way you can get higher credit limit. But if you try to apply for a bunch of credit cards at once, this is where it starts to look a little sketchy. It seems like you're trying to just borrow as much money from different credit card companies and then not pay them and leave. Don't be applying for too much credit at once or you are going to get penalized. So here's a fun fact. If you're trying to go for a loan and your purchase is within the same field, let's say buying a car, then it's actually only going to be charged as if you only applied for one loan, not multiple of them. So for the car example, if you're going to be going for a car and you go to all these different dealers, they're all going to be running your credit to determine what kind of loan they want to give you. But what's nice about this is it's not going to look like all these different places ran your credit. It's going to be taken into consideration that, oh, this person's trying to buy a car, so they're going to all these different places. We're only going to say they looked at their credit once. So that's going to be good on your credit score. So the main point is you don't want to get multiple loans from different areas. So the worst scenario, you get a loan for a home, then you get a loan for a car, then you decide to get a loan on some furniture, and then you decide, you know what, I'm gonna open up 5 credit cards. That would blow your credit score just out of the water and in a bad way. So don't do that. For factor number 4, the main thing you're going to want to do for this one is not to close any of your credit. It's going to be important that you show lenders that you have a history of credit. However, if you decide to close an account, the issue with this now is you just lost all of your progress. Now, I'm not saying you should never close credit. If you're paying a high annual fee on a credit card, or maybe you just had a really bad experience, maybe it's going to be best for you to actually do close that. You want to make sure that you are going to be enjoying your time with figuring out all your finances. But really make sure that this is going to be the responsible choice, because again, it will hurt you. Another example, besides just losing all of your progress and showing that you are responsible with your money, is that your credit utilization would also go up, which again, we want to keep it low. Let's go back to the example before with credit utilization, where you had a $10,000 credit limit. Let's say you close a credit card and it had $3,000 on there. Well, when you close it, now you only have $7,000 to work with. And if you're not changing your spending habits based off this, you might actually be reaching more than 30%. Not good. Really make sure that before you close any credit, if this is really going to be the best decision. Now, the 5th factor is having a variety of credit, and this is going to be taking care of the last 10% of your credit score. Having a variety of credit not only shows that you are able to pay off everything, but it also shows lenders that you are good at balancing different types of money that you owe. Makes you look a little bit more responsible. Really just focus on these 2 types of credit: installment loans and revolving credit. Installment loans are loans where you borrow money and then you're paying a part of that loan every single month until a certain time in the future once you've paid everything off. So some loans that you see with this are personal loans, student loans, car payments, home mortgage loans, payments like that. And a fun fact, if you try to pay off some of these loans early, you actually might get penalized. That's actually not a fun fact. But now the revolving credit, that's actually all of your credit cards. And if you've been following all the factors before, great, you're already working on this. So that's awesome. And with that, these are all the 5 factors that you really need to understand about credit scores. If you're able to really get hands-on with all 5 of these factors, you are going to do amazing. Even if you have low credit, it's gonna be okay. Just remember these 5 factors, focus on these, and with time on your side, your score is gonna go way up. Trust me on that. Actually, don't trust me, because I'm just some random guy on YouTube, and you shouldn't take all of your financial advice for some random person. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you haven't done so, like the video by making the thumbs up button blue and subscribing to the channel. And let me know in the comments what you learned about this that you didn't before. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.